Welcome to our channel where we explore meaningful life lessons for our golden years. Today we're going to talk about a topic many of us feel a little shy discussing, but it's incredibly important for our daily confidence and comfort: body odor. Have you ever found yourself wondering, why do I seem to have a peculiar smell? No matter how thoroughly you shower, how often you change your clothes, or how many perfumes and sprays you use, there's still a stubborn, unpleasant odor that just seems to linger sometimes, even like urine. If you're a woman over 60, please know you are absolutely not alone. This isn't just more common than you might think. It often stems from simple everyday hygiene habits that we don't even realize are working against us. There's no need to feel embarrassed or guilty about it. It's a natural part of aging that we can actively manage and significantly improve. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 common mistakes that many older women make, mistakes that could be sabotaging your confidence and leaving you feeling less than fresh. Stay with me until the end to uncover these eye-opening insights and discover practical, doctor-recommended solutions that will help you stay clean, comfortable, and confident in your golden years. Trust me, you'll wish you knew these tips sooner. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you'd take a moment to like this video. It truly helps me continue to spread these valuable old age lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. If you find this video helpful, please comment number 1 below. If you don't, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make even better videos for you. Now, let's get started. 1. Ignoring light leaks. Let me share something that many of us older women experience but rarely talk about openly: light bladder leakage. It's not the kind of thing you bring up at book club or over coffee with friends, but it's far more common than most of us realize. I'm not talking about full-blown accidents that send you running to the bathroom in a panic. I mean those small, unexpected leaks, those tiny, fleeting drops that happen when you laugh a little too hard at a friend's joke, sneeze during allergy season, or move too quickly while carrying groceries. These moments, though seemingly minor, can have a surprisingly powerful impact on our sense of freshness and confidence. For years, I brushed it off as a one-off occurrence, convincing myself it was no big deal. It's just a fluke, I'd tell myself, or it's probably because I drank too much tea today. I lived in denial, always finding excuses for what was happening. But as time went on, those little moments started adding up. I noticed something I couldn't ignore: a faint, persistent odor that seemed to follow me no matter how clean I thought I was. At first, I blamed everything else: my laundry detergent, my age, even the fabric of my favorite chair. It never crossed my mind that the issue might be lingering in my undergarments, in those tiny bits of moisture barely visible to the eye. The truth is, even a tiny amount of urine from these small leaks can settle into your underwear, your pants, or even your furniture if you're not careful. If you're like me, you might hang your clothes back up in the closet or toss them over a chair thinking, "I'll wear these again tomorrow, they're fine." But that's where the problem festers, quietly and persistently. That tiny bit of moisture creates a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And bacteria means odor. What's worse, as we age, our sense of smell often weakens, so we might not even notice the problem. But the people around us probably do. I remember a moment at a family gathering when my daughter-in-law subtly suggested I change my sweater because it smelled like the couch. I was mortified and embarrassed, but it was a powerful wake-up call. Doctors emphasize that light bladder leakage, also known as stress urinary incontinence, or SUI for short, even if it's occasional, isn't something to ignore. SUI happens when the pelvic floor muscles and urethral sphincter weaken, often due to the natural aging process: childbirth, menopause, due to decreased estrogen-thinning tissues, or even certain surgeries. When you cough, sneeze, laugh, lift something heavy, or exercise sudden pressure on the bladder, can cause a small amount of urine to leak if the supporting muscles aren't strong enough to hold it in. This is not just about inconvenience, it's about hygiene and self-confidence. Beyond the unpleasant odor, constant dampness from urine leakage can lead to skin irritation, rashes, yeast infections, or bacterial infections in sensitive areas. Older women's skin tends to be thinner and more vulnerable, making these issues worse. Psychologically, the anxiety about odor and minor accidents can lead to limiting social activities, reducing self-esteem, and affecting overall quality of life. Many women avoid exercise classes, long trips, or even intimate gatherings with family and friends because of this fear. Thankfully, there are solutions that don't require you to overhaul your life. Moisture-wicking underwear specifically designed for light leaks or thin incontinence liners can be absolute game changers. They're discreet, comfortable, and blend seamlessly into your daily routine. I started using liners, and it was like rediscovering my confidence. No more worrying about a faint smell when I leaned in to hug someone or sat through a long meeting. Additionally, practicing Kegel exercises, pelvic floor exercises, is incredibly effective. By consistently contracting and relaxing your intimate muscles, you can significantly improve bladder control. Doctors often recommend performing 3 sets of 10-15 contractions 3 times a day, focusing on squeezing the correct muscles. Imagine trying to stop the flow of urine or hold back gas. Consistency is key. There are even apps and devices to guide you. Bladder training, gradually increasing the time between bathroom visits, can also help expand bladder capacity and reduce the urgency to go. Don't forget lifestyle changes like limiting bladder irritants such as caffeine, alcohol, fizzy drinks, and acidic foods, and maintaining a healthy weight, which can also reduce pressure on the bladder. And let's talk about embarrassment for a second, because I get it. It's hard to admit you need these products, but the real embarrassment is when others notice an odor you're unaware of. I wish someone had sat me down years ago and said, "This is normal and there's an easy fix." So I'm saying it to you now. Don't ignore those little leaks. Protect your dignity, your hygiene, and your peace of mind with the right tools and habits. 2. Using the wrong soaps. For years, I was convinced that the key to staying fresh and clean was scrubbing my skin with the strongest, most fragrant soap I could find. Growing up, my bathroom shelf was a rainbow of supermarket body washes: Lavender Bliss, Coconut Paradise, Ocean Mist, you name it. My logic was simple. If it smells powerful and leaves my skin feeling squeaky clean, it must be working right. Oh, how wrong I was. It took me far too long to realize that those heavily perfumed soaps and body washes were making things worse, especially as I got older. As we age, our skin changes in ways we don't always notice right away. It becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive, especially in intimate areas after menopause. Our skin has a natural protective barrier called the acid mantle, with a slightly acidic pH around 4.5 to 5.5. This mantle acts as a first line of defense against harmful bacteria and fungi. When we use harsh alkaline soaps, most traditional soaps have a higher pH. They disrupt this acid mantle, leaving the skin prone to dryness, irritation, and creating an environment where bad bacteria can thrive. In intimate areas, particularly after menopause, when estrogen levels drop the skin and mucous membranes become thinner and more susceptible to pH imbalances, leading to a higher risk of yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis BV, both of which can cause unpleasant odors and discomfort. Even worse, they were throwing off my body's natural pH balance, creating an environment where bacteria could thrive. That's when the odors started creeping in, not because I wasn't clean, but because my skin was fighting a losing battle against irritation from the very products I was using to cleanse. I remember standing in front of the mirror fresh from a shower and still catching a whiff of a musty scent by lunchtime. I thought I was doing everything right, slathering on the floral-scented body wash and scrubbing like I was cleaning a cast-iron skillet. It was humbling to learn that my efforts were backfiring. A candid conversation with my doctor changed everything. She explained that as we age, our skin, especially in sensitive areas, needs gentle care, not an assault from perfumed soaps. She listed ingredients to avoid in soaps like synthetic fragrances, often listed as fragrance or parfum, because they are common irritants and disrupt the natural microbiome. Sulfates, SLS, SLES, which are strong foaming agents, but strip the skin of its natural oils, and triclosan, a strong antibacterial agent that can alter skin's natural flora. Her advice switched to a mild, unscented soap, or in some cases, just warm water. I was skeptical at first. Warm water. That's it, but I gave it a try, swapping my Tropical Breeze body wash for a fragrance-free hypoallergenic cleanser. Within a week, I noticed a difference. My skin felt calmer, less irritated, and that midday musty smell was gone. I didn't need to freshen up every few hours or douse myself in perfume to mask anything. It was a revelation. Sometimes the secret to smelling clean isn't about adding more scent. It's about removing what's causing the problem in the first place. For intimate areas, in most cases, simply using warm water is enough. This area is self-cleaning. Vaginal douching is a highly harmful habit, as it disrupts the healthy natural microbiome of the vagina, leading to pH imbalance and increased risk of infections. Instead, choose products labeled fragrance-free, hypoallergenic, and pH-balanced for your entire body, and especially your intimate areas, if you feel you need to use soap there. Keep your showers brief and gentle, and make sure to gently pat your intimate area dry with a clean towel afterward. If you're still reaching for those heavily fragranced soaps, take it from me, less is more, and your skin will thank you. 3. Forgetting to change liners and pads regularly. If you're someone who wears liners or pads, whether for light bladder leakage, postmenopausal changes, or just for extra comfort, this one's for you. I used to pop a liner in my underwear in the morning and completely forget about it for the rest of the day. My reasoning: if it didn't feel soaked, it was still good to go. Plus, those things aren't cheap. Who wants to go through a whole pack in a week? But here's what I didn't realize. Even if a liner or pad feels dry on the surface, it's still absorbing tiny amounts of moisture from sweat, natural secretions, or those minor leaks throughout the day. The science behind the odor is simple. The smell doesn't come from the urine or discharge itself immediately, but it arises when bacteria on the skin or within the liner break down the organic compounds present. That warm, moist environment becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria to thrive, which leads to odors that build up slowly but surely. Liners, thin or thick, create a miniature greenhouse effect for bacteria, especially once they've absorbed even a small amount of liquid. I started noticing a faint sour smell by the evening, especially on busy days when I was running errands or spending time with friends. It made me self-conscious, second-guessing every hug or close conversation in a crowded space. I'd check my clothes, sniff my jacket, even wonder if my deodorant was failing me. It wasn't until I talked to my doctor that I learned the truth. Liners and pads need to be changed every few hours, even if they don't seem full. Doctors recommend changing liners or pads at least every 3-4 hours or sooner if you feel damp or notice leakage. If you only experience very light leakage, you might extend it slightly, but still no longer than 6 hours. It's not about being wasteful. It's about protecting your skin and keeping odors at bay. Bacteria don't care if the liner looks clean. They're thriving in that hidden moisture. Prolonged exposure of skin to dampness and bacteria can lead to dermatitis, rashes, yeast infections or bacterial infections, and even urinary tract infections, UTIs especially, since older women's skin tends to be more delicate and vulnerable. Making the switch to a more regular changing routine was a game changer. I also discovered reusable washable liners, which are not only better for my wallet, but also gentler on my skin. I started carrying a small pouch with a few extras in my purse, so I could change discreetly during the day, whether I was at work or out with friends. To help myself remember, you can set an alarm on your phone as a reminder. When changing, always wash your hands thoroughly before and after. Gently cleanse the intimate area from front to back with warm water or an unscented wipe, and then pat it completely dry before applying a fresh liner. The difference was night and day. That sour scent was gone, and I felt fresher and more confident from morning to night. If you're wearing the same liner from breakfast to bedtime, it's time to rethink that habit. Your skin deserves better, and you'll feel the difference when you prioritize hygiene over convenience. 4. Wearing synthetic underwear. For years, my underwear drawer was full of those soft, stretchy synthetic panties you find in every department store. They were affordable, didn't ride up, and came in cute colors and patterns. I thought I'd cracked the code on comfort until I started noticing that no matter how often I showered or changed, I felt damp and uncomfortable down there, even on cool days. Worse, there was a faint, persistent odor that seemed to cling to me no matter how much body spray I used. I couldn't figure it out. Was it my detergent? My diet? It wasn't until a visit to my doctor that I got the answer. Synthetic underwear was the culprit. Synthetic fabrics like polyester or nylon might feel soft and look stylish, but they're terrible for breathability. They are made from synthetic chemicals and have moisture-repelling properties, meaning they don't absorb dampness, but rather trap it against your skin. This might be useful in athletic wear to wick sweat away, but for underwear where moisture needs to be absorbed and drawn away from intimate areas, it becomes a problem. When moisture from sweat secretions or urine leaks is trapped close to the skin and air cannot circulate freely, a warm, moist environment is created. This is the ideal condition for bacteria and yeast to grow rapidly, creating what I call a mini greenhouse effect for your intimate area. This is especially problematic if you're dealing with light bladder leakage or the natural changes that come with aging, like postmenopausal dryness or sensitivity, as these issues increase the risk of yeast and bacterial infections. My doctor's advice was simple but eye-opening. Switch to cotton. Always cotton. I'll admit I rolled my eyes a little. Cotton underwear. That sounded like something my grandmother would wear. Plain, boring, and not cute. But I decided to give it a try. I cleared out my drawer and invested in a stack of 100% cotton underwear in neutral colors. The difference was immediate. Cotton is a natural fiber known for its superior absorbency. It can soak up moisture and allow it to evaporate into the air, keeping everything dry and comfortable down there. This prevents the buildup of dampness and inhibits the growth of bacteria and yeast. Furthermore, cotton is soft and less irritating to sensitive skin than many synthetic fabrics, which is especially important for older women whose skin tends to be more delicate. No more sticky, damp feeling halfway through the day. My laundry stopped smelling strange, and I felt a confidence I hadn't realized I'd lost. I even found cotton underwear in styles that were just as comfortable and flattering as my old synthetic ones. Proof that you don't have to sacrifice style for function. If you're still holding on to those shiny, stretchy panties because they're familiar or affordable, do yourself a favor and make the switch. Always check the label to ensure you're buying 100% cotton, or at least a high cotton blend over 90% is ideal. Besides, cotton bamboo and modal fibers are also excellent choices as they are soft, absorbent, and breathable. And remember to change your underwear daily. Wash them in warm or hot water to kill bacteria and avoid using fabric softeners. Your skin, your nose, and your confidence will thank you. Comfort without odor is always in style. 5. Not drinking enough water. For years I operated under a misguided belief that drinking less water was a clever strategy to manage my daily routine. My logic was simple, almost embarrassingly so. If I consumed less water, I'd need fewer trips to the bathroom, which would spare me the inconvenience and potential embarrassment of needing to go during outings, long car rides, or social gatherings. It seemed like a practical solution, especially as I got older and started noticing occasional bladder sensitivity. Less water in less urgency out. Or so I thought. In my mind, it was a foolproof plan to maintain control and avoid awkward situations. What I didn't understand at the time was that this approach was backfiring in ways I hadn't anticipated. By deliberately cutting back on water, I was unknowingly setting myself up for problems that went beyond mere inconvenience. Dehydration doesn't just make you thirsty, it changes how your body functions. Water makes up about 60% of an adult's body weight and plays an essential role in every biological function. The kidneys are the main organs responsible for filtering blood-removing waste products and producing urine. One of the most surprising consequences was how it affected my hygiene, particularly the odor of my urine. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes highly concentrated. Your kidneys try to conserve fluid by making the urine more potent, increasing the concentration of waste products like urea and creatinine. It turns a darker shade, sometimes a deep amber, and develops a pungent, sharp smell that's impossible to ignore. This isn't just a minor annoyance. It's a signal that your body isn't getting the fluid it needs to flush out waste effectively. Worse still, concentrated urine doesn't just stay in your bladder. Even a small leak, whether from a moment of laughter, a cough, or just a weak moment, can leave a lingering odor that clings to your skin, your clothing, and even the furniture you sit on. Because concentrated urine carries a much stronger odor than diluted urine. I learned this the hard way. For a while, I chalked up the faint but persistent smell to aging. This is just what happens when you get older. I told myself, resigned to the idea that my body was betraying me. I felt self-conscious, constantly checking myself or avoiding close contact with others, worried they'd notice something off. The turning point came when I decided to experiment with drinking more water. Not huge amounts, just a steady habit of sipping a glass here and there throughout the day. The general recommendation is about 8 glasses, 2 liters of water daily, but this can vary depending on activity level, climate, and individual health conditions. For older women, the sensation of thirst might be diminished, or the body's fluid regulation mechanisms might be less efficient, so being proactive about drinking water is crucial. The change was almost miraculous. Within days, I noticed my urine was lighter in color, almost clear, and that sharp, unpleasant odor began to fade. But the benefits didn't stop there. My skin, which had started to look dull and tired, seemed to regain a bit of its glow. I felt more energized, less sluggish. It was as if my body was thanking me for finally giving it what it needed. Drinking more water, I learned, does more than just quench thirst. It helps your kidneys filter out toxins, keeps your urinary system functioning smoothly, and prevents waste from building up in your body. It's like giving your insides a thorough rinse, flushing out impurities, and keeping everything running as it should. Dehydration also causes many other health problems like constipation, dry and dull skin fatigue, headaches, and increases the risk of kidney stones and recurrent urinary tract infections. For those of us who worry about bladder leaks or frequent bathroom trips, the fear of accidents can make hydration feel like a risk. But I've found that with a little planning, like using absorbent liners, scheduling bathroom breaks, or even practicing pelvic floor exercises, you can stay hydrated without sacrificing confidence. To stay hydrated, always carry a water bottle. Aim to drink a small glass of water every hour, or add slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint to your water for flavor. Denying your body water is like starving it of a basic necessity. It's not just about hygiene, it's about health, comfort, and feeling your best. So grab that extra glass of water. Your body will thank you in ways you never expected. 6. Sitting too long without washing up. Let me be candid, after I retired, my days took on a slower, more sedentary rhythm. I'd spend hours lost in a good book, binge watching my favorite shows, or meticulously working through crossword puzzles in the morning paper. Some days I'd stay in my cozy nightgown well past noon, reveling in the comfort of not having anywhere to be. It felt like a well-earned luxury after years of rushing through life. But what I didn't realize was that this sedentary lifestyle was creating an unexpected problem. One that affected not just my comfort, but my sense of self. When you sit for long periods, especially in warm, snug clothing or on padded chairs, you create a microenvironment in your pelvic area that's warm, humid, and less than ideal for hygiene. Sweat, natural skin oils, and even minor bladder leaks can accumulate in that area, especially if you're not moving around or freshening up regularly. Over time, this moisture and warmth become a breeding ground for bacteria, particularly anaerobic bacteria. These bacteria, when breaking down sweat and oils, produce volatile compounds that have an unpleasant odor. This smell is often stronger and heavier than typical body odor, and no amount of body spray or perfume can fully mask it. I didn't notice it at first. It's easy to grow accustomed to gradual changes in your own body, but the odor wasn't just a minor inconvenience. It was a subtle but persistent reminder that something wasn't right. The moment that changed everything came during a visit from my granddaughter. She climbed into my lap for a cuddle, as she often did, and with the unfiltered honesty of a child, she wrinkled her nose and said, "Grandma, you smell like something wet." My heart sank, not because she meant to hurt my feelings, but because her innocent observation hit a nerve. She was right. I'd let myself slip into habits that were compromising my dignity, and it stung to realize it. That moment was a wake-up call, one that pushed me to rethink my daily routine. Now I make a conscious effort to break up long periods of sitting. Even if it's just a short walk to the kitchen to refill my water glass, or a quick stretch in the living room, I get up every hour or so to keep things moving and allow air to circulate around my body. More importantly, I've built in a midday hygiene routine. A quick wash with warm water and a soft, clean cloth takes just a minute, but makes a world of difference. Gently wipe from front to back, and most importantly, make sure to dry completely to avoid creating conditions for bacterial growth. If water isn't available, use unscented alcohol-free wipes designed for sensitive skin. I also make it a point to change into fresh clothes daily, even if I haven't left the house, and prioritize loose, breathable clothing. These small changes have restored my confidence and sense of self-respect. It has not only helped control odor, but also improved my overall health, as prolonged sitting can lead to circulation problems, muscle weakening, joint pain, and other metabolic health risks. It's not about chasing vanity or trying to impress anyone. It's about caring for yourself in a way that feels dignified. Your body deserves that kind of attention, no matter how cozy those long, lazy days might feel. 7. Neglecting the laundry routine. Let's talk about something we don't often discuss openly: laundry. Not the sheets or towels, but the intimate items. The underwear, the lounge pants, the nightgowns you slip into night after night because they're comfortable and, well, they don't look dirty. I'll admit I used to be a little lax in this department. If a pair of pants or a nightgown didn't have visible stains or an obvious smell, I'd figure they were fine to wear again. Why add to the laundry pile unnecessarily? It seemed like a practical choice. especially on days when I wasn't doing much beyond puttering around the house. But as I've gotten older, I've noticed that my body and my clothes don't play by the same rules anymore. Even items that looked clean started to carry a faint, lingering odor after just a few hours of wear. It wasn't overpowering, but it was enough to make me self-conscious. I'd put on a fresh pair of pants, and by mid-morning, I'd catch a whiff of something that made me wonder, is that me, or is it the clothes? The answer I learned was often both. Doctors and hygiene experts explain that bacteria from sweat minor bladder leaks, and even your skin's natural oils can embed themselves deep into the fabric fibers, especially in tight or synthetic materials like polyester or spandex. These materials don't breathe as well as cotton, trapping moisture and odors against your skin. When these organic substances soak into the fibers and are not thoroughly removed, bacteria thrive and form a biofilm, a sticky layer that clings to the fabric. Biofilms are very difficult to remove with just a gentle wash cycle, and once formed, the clothes will always carry an odor, even if they've just been washed or worn for only a short time. The problem compounds if you're not washing these items thoroughly. Standard laundry cycles, especially with cold water or mild detergents, might not fully eliminate bacteria or odors. Over time, even seemingly clean clothes can develop a musty smell that clings to you throughout the day, undermining the fresh feeling of a shower. Unclean clothes can also irritate the skin, leading to itching, rashes, and even skin infections. I used to wonder why I didn't feel as clean as I expected despite my efforts. It wasn't until I overhauled my laundry routine that I realized how much my clothes were working against me. Now I'm meticulous about my laundry habits. I wash my underwear, lounge pants, and nightgowns separately, not mixing them with other clothes to prevent the spread of bacteria and ensure a more thorough wash. I use hot water around 140 degrees South to 60 degrees Celsius for cotton items, as hot water is more effective at killing bacteria, yeast, and breaking down oils and organic matter that cause odors. I use a good quality, unscented, and dye-free laundry detergent. I add a splash of white vinegar, about 1/2 to 1 cup, to the fabric softener dispenser of my washing machine. Vinegar is a mild acid that helps neutralize alkaline odors, kills bacteria, and softens clothes naturally. Alternatively, you can add 1/2 cup of baking soda directly to the wash drum with your detergent. I make sure everything is fully dried. Damp clothes are a recipe for mustiness, and I never rewear these items without washing them first, no matter how clean they appear. It's a bit more work, yes, but the payoff is immense. There's a quiet confidence that comes with knowing you smell fresh, that your clothes are truly clean, and that you're presenting your best self to the world. It's not just about hygiene. It's about reclaiming control over how you feel in your skin. Trust me, a little extra effort in the laundry room can make all the difference. Ladies, we've just walked through a wealth of insights to help you stay fresh, confident, and comfortable in your golden years. From addressing light bladder leaks with the right underwear, to choosing gentle soaps, staying hydrated, and keeping your laundry routine on point, these 7 tips are all about empowering you to take control of your hygiene and feel your best every day. I hope this video has opened your eyes to simple changes that can make a big difference in how you feel and carry yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one key takeaway you've learned today that you're excited to put into practice in your own life? Maybe it's switching to cotton underwear, changing liners more often, or drinking that extra glass of water. Drop it in the comments below, and let's inspire each other with our stories and tips. You are not alone on this journey, and sharing experiences will help all of us grow and feel more confident. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more practical, heartfelt advice tailored for seniors. Until next time, keep taking care of your body, because it's never too late to feel confident and care for yourself with the dignity you deserve. Thank you for watching.